Okay.
All right, so I have another student to do a check-in with. This is Nigel, and I had him, oh my goodness. Now I feel old. I'm not sure how long ago it was. I had Nigel in my first high school class that I ever taught. I taught him in foods, and man, he could cook. You could cook. Your group,
Me and my boy, yeah. Me and my
I was
brother
looking
Davion,
back at
man.
pictures and
We had
seeing
the best
y'all
food
just
every time.
absolutely.
We used to
So
compete with Deontay and what's his name? Oh man.
the whole
Yeah,
class.
for real. The whole class for real.
Well,
That
good
was funny.
memories, and I personally always had a special place in my heart for Nigel because he was like he helped me succeed in the classroom. You know, I came in; these kids are bigger than me, and he would stand up and answer the question of the day and write it on the board and just the type of kid that just got the classroom going. So we always had a lot of fun. I will say, probably one of my funniest memories was you could not get enough roasting. He just roasted one kid, and I said, Nigel, you got to stop. You cannot. This is not okay behavior. And so he
That's
made
our
a deal
generation.
with me. Do you remember this? You made a deal with me, and I said, um, well, you asked me if I roast you, I won't ever roast anyone else in here. And
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
so
I remember that.
and you know what this kid says? He
Yeah.
said, "Oh, have you ever seen what's that movie?
Uh,
The
Emperor's New
bad
Groove.
the bad guy in uh, I'm gonna post a picture after this so that the world
Chill.
can see who you
I'm
thought I
weak.
looked like. It was the bad guy from
I think it was Emperor's New Groove, the lady.
yeah, yeah, that's it. You still got it. So, and I'm one of those teachers, you hear something funny and you just gotta laugh it off. I mean, it was good. And he also
A
liked to rap in my class. Him and
little
Dejan
bit, a little bit.
get a beat going. And then I told him one day, hey, I don't have a problem with this, but it's got to be about food because this is foods class.
For
And
sure.
both of y'all were like, well, that's hard. And I said, well, it'll make you a better rapper. Then we'll just go with that. But to get to Nigel's story, I had him as a sophomore, and we shared some really cool experiences of our football program brought me on as one of the coaches to help the guys on
Hmm.
the sideline and help keep
That
them
was junior
in line
and
in
senior
class.
year, right?
Yeah,
That was junior and senior year,
yeah, junior and senior year. So I have some cool pictures from that I'll also put on here.
yeah.
But to see how much you grew, and then you would come back and help out the school so much even after you graduated. And what was crazy was your senior year was when everything shut down with COVID. And so
Hmm.
I want to know a little bit about that experience. You had taken foods classes and thinking about CTE, you had taken some business, some
Hmm.
marketing, advertisement. So tell me a little bit about your high school experience.
Uh, we can start with foods class. Yeah, foods class was pretty smooth. I feel like uh, the things that you have taught us, like I still use some of the things today. Like even with like just being myself and like just being a good person and not letting things take over my, you know what I'm saying, like my mental or whatever. Still hold on to the things. I remember I used to skip lunch just to come to your class and we just sit there and talk while you had a class. And I'm just in there just talking to everybody. But nah, yeah, high school it was pretty smooth. It was ups and downs. I'm not gonna lie. Hardest year I probably say senior year, but I mean, life was just hit me, and it was like adversity. But it's like one thing I learned is like what you gonna do like once like something happens. You know what I'm saying? So like something happens to you, how you gonna bounce back from it? And I just felt like every time like I just had to find a way to keep things moving, keep things rolling. Uh, I say with business and stuff, I really didn't learn about like the business side until I got out of high school or whatever, because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. But when it came to like learning about like adulting and all the other stuff, I feel like you said during COVID, like I really didn't learn too much, but came to the basics really. I'll say the basics, but it was more so of the I want to say the interactions with teachers that I had and the interaction I had with students. It was really fun at times, and it was times that it was like, man, I got to get out of here. But that's everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you had to tell the world you were a very good athlete. Nigel played football and he played basketball. And so when it came down to the end, and there's a lot of pressure for seniors, you really see it kind of after Christmas when it's like, okay, I only have 4 or 5 months to make those final plans. And where do I live? And how do I know for sure that this is the right game plan? Um, with also COVID happening during that time, that was a lot of pressure. And I remember you reaching out right before. I believe you had decided where you were going to go to college, which I want to talk
Hmm.
about in a minute. But then
Okay.
you reached out and said, "Hey, I'm not sure. How do I know I'm making the right choice?" And leading up to, I think it was the week before you went,
Hmm.
that you are still kind of going back and forth. So, how did you make that decision on what you should do after you graduated?
I'm not gonna lie. I I sometimes I still think about it like, dang, bro, you should have played football. But uh, how everything been going, I feel like this is the way it was supposed to go for real. Like the way life been going since I first got out of college. I mean, first got into college. I feel like the people that I met and the things that I've learned, this football stuff probably would not be for me, but basketball probably would definitely be it just because like how I grew up on it and the things that I took just to continue to grow myself in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And I think somebody told me like he was like, if you don't love it, there's no point in you really like playing it through. So it's like the things that you do, so you want to like go hard at it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I should have. I don't. Yeah, I don't want to have no regrets. So football
Yeah.
probably wasn't it, but I feel like I probably will play football my next university or however it goes.
So, you
Maybe.
started, just to let people know, you started playing basketball at Montreat. That was your start.
Hmm.
And what did you decide to study in school when you were there?
When I went to hold on, okay. When I went to Montreat, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. When I went to Montreat, I was studying what was it? Law enforcement. I was not law enforcement, but
Like
criminal
business.
justice. Yeah, criminal justice. I was studying criminal justice, but I really didn't read too much into the school, so it was just on just learning the basics about the law and stuff like that. But I really knew that's not what I wanted to do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just learn stuff. Really, just trying stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I really didn't come to school to play. I mean, to do school. I wanted to play basketball. That was it. Like
Right.
like my mom said, coming into college, it was just straight basketball. I really wasn't worried about school too much, but I mean, I learned, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, like if I would have went this way, it would have went differently. But the way
Mhm.
I did take it definitely taught me lessons, and I definitely learned things that I did learn, and it helped me throughout to get to where I am now.
And then you made a change, and you actually switched schools.
Yeah, I left Montreat. I had to Yeah, I transferred, went to junior college, Division 3 junior college, Sand Hills. My first year there, it was I had the red shirt because of my grades leaving Montreat. So after I went there, I wasn't supposed to play my first semester. I mean, the following semester, the second semester of my first year, but I ended up playing because my coaches was like they needed you this and the third. But like I said, that's something I probably could regret. But at the same time, it's like I learned different things. So then I dealt with injury. I broke my wrist, and mind you, I broke my wrist 3 times in 1 year. Like 1 year, I played 11 games that year, my first year, and I broke my wrist twice. And then the following year, my second year at JUCO, I broke my wrist again on like right before going back to school or whatever. And so I was in the cast from that time until the season started, and I came out the cast, and yeah, I just took off. But
Well, and I
yeah, it's
remember seeing you check in after that point, and it was like,
yeah,
okay, now I'm ready. Now
yeah.
I know what I want to study. And
Hmm.
so tell us about what you're studying right now, and tell us about what you did with CVS here recently.
Okay. When I was at St. Hills, I got my associate in arts, got my associate in arts degree. Came over here. I wanted to do some mass communications. I wanted to do a minor in business, but I didn't get to that yet. But yeah, I definitely want to do mass communications, or like some therapy or something. But just something to like move around with sports, though. I know I don't want to just be out here doing so. I got to do something with sports. But yeah, I think that's really about it. I just try to keep that going.
And you did with CVS. Tell us what you did with
Oh
that.
yeah, CVS. I'm sorry. CVS. That was a paid partnership that I did with Post Games. Uh, I signed up for that. I want to say my second year at JUCO, and then I really couldn't really do nothing until I got to like a 4 year school. So when I got to my 4 year, and then they sent me out a campaign, and then I had to do all this other stuff, and then it went from there, and I got what I got, and basically I just had to make some content and show that. You know what I'm saying, I know what I'm talking about, this, that, and the third, but just basically promoting their business, and it was a fun experience. It was my first time for real, so I really didn't know how I was doing. So, and when I asked them, and I was seeing other people's, and I was like, it's not the same, but they told me I did good. So I mean, I guess I
It's
did
worth
good.
a try.
Yeah, it was worth the try. That's what I'm saying. Like that was something I never did before, but I mean, I guess I did pretty good.
Add it to the resume because, and
Yeah.
I'm constantly telling young people, in high school, your biggest disadvantage coming out of high school is that experience piece.
Hmm.
But I feel like young people can do so much with marketing and advertisement and knowing technology and being
Yeah.
comfortable with that, that sometimes you don't even know your own strengths when it comes to that, and just pushing it
Like
and
being
trying
creative.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
being creative, putting yourself out there, and kind of selling yourself, but remembering to put that in your resume as you move forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did do this. Um, what what advice would you give high schoolers now?
Uh, Things that I tell high schoolers now, as far as like school or
Yeah, when it comes
business.
to making decisions and knowing like what
Okay.
classes to take, and just the process of like how to seek that help to know what to do next.
I'm gonna say, I would say just whatever you like. You're gonna find yourself. You're not gonna find yourself coming out of high school. So you're really gonna find what you really want to do. Like saying like stuff like because I changed my things that I wanted to do with my decisions or whatever. But it's like if you really want something that bad, like you can go for it. But if it's like something, I mean, uh, it's kind of hard because the way the world is today, you just don't know, and it's like different people want different things. But the advice I would just give them, just don't stop like trying. Like even if it's something that's really bothering you or you really want it, like if you really want it, go get it. That's the best things I can say. Like if you really want to go get it, because I feel like it's probably just my mindset, but if I want something, I'm gonna try my best to get it. If I can't get it, I'm gonna make sure I get something close to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
And
As
that's
far as
how you,
everything with school, I feel like they should just continue to like be yourself and try to make yourself uncomfortable while still being comfortable, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And having, you told me earlier about like just having those conversations,
Yeah.
you're probably talking at home with family and you come to school and you have certain people, like always being willing to have those conversations, because
Yeah.
I think that's one mark a lot of high schoolers miss is like you get called into the guidance office and it's like, well, I don't know what I want to take, and I don't know what I like, and
Yeah. Because that's
you
what that
do.
was my answer too. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
even know what I want to do if it's not basketball. Like that's all I was thinking of. Basketball, football. All I know is play
yeah.
sports. But like when it comes outside of that, like, yeah, I want to have my other businesses and stuff. But I didn't really start thinking about my other businesses until like I want to say when I got to my JUCO, but I was like, I knew I wanted a business, but like what I really wanted to do was when I went my JUCO, and it might have been actually while I left Montreat on the way to my first JUCO, yeah, because when I was at work, that's when I started working at Lowe's, and then I started learning different things about plumbing and stuff, and then I was like, I really like this because I did carpentry in high school too, so it was like those really are type hand in hand. So I just used what I knew from there and brought it over here, and it's like, oh, this is real easy. So I got a little bit of experience with that. I did a little work over the summer, past summer. So,
And that's, isn't that funny how you have a class, carpentry, that exposed you to that in high school. And then over the summer, after during a college break, you go work for Lowe's. And it's funny how you can kind of stumble sometimes into something where you're like, wait a minute, I like this. And yeah, I
hmm
have a little bit of experience and uh,
yeah,
just pushing it to the next level. But you definitely were always, that's another story I remember
hmm
about you on the sidelines with football. Like
that
you would just look at me and say, I'm about to score a touchdown. And you would.
was definitely that was my favorite
You
moment. That
would
was
do
my favorite
it
moment.
every single
That definitely was
time.
my favorite moment.
And it just amazed me that um, that
I
drive.
remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
like it
me
was
too.
yesterday against West
and,
Oran.
and so
hmm
it's just one of those things that, like, if you lack that drive, you might find it, and you probably
Yeah,
will find it. And sometimes it's not the road you expected, and sometimes you have to switch schools and switch what your major is and what
I'm
you're.
a big person. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm a big person on like things happen for a reason. So like the is like all the things are about to come. Like I'm really like grateful and thankful for everything that really done happened, especially that I done learned from you and with foods and business and even outside of school about life. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really appreciate all that.
That's awesome. Well, I loved having you in the classroom, and thank you so much for joining me tonight
Yes,
and
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
giving something out to the world. Hopefully, someone listens to this and just can take that
Sure.
knowledge and it means something. Because sometimes, and that's why I started doing these videos, is as a teacher, you try to give tips and things that you feel like will help young people, but sometimes you think, well, maybe someone who just graduated not too long ago, a younger person that's in college now that just made the change, or is making these decisions, maybe it's good for them to hear you guys give updates. And then sometimes you just have to learn for yourself and go through
Yeah,
it
that's what it
and
is.
and
Take
experience
things what
failure.
people learn, what people done. Yeah, what people
Mhm.
done. You just learn as you go. It's like you learn as you go, but you like gotta see. You gotta see other people do things. Like even if they fail, you gotta see like what not to do. That's
Right.
basically what I've been doing. Like looking at stuff. If I don't like what they're doing, I'm gonna just take it and do what I want to do in my own way.
Mhm. Well, you've
Yeah.
been doing great. I'm so proud of you,
hmm
and I'm sure I'll check in with you soon. But
Yes, ma'am.
for those of you out here, this is Nigel, and um, I just appreciate these conversations that I can have with young people, and I hope that it helps you out there comes to making a decision and what to do next. So keep following my channel, Design for the Soul, and share it with other people.
Design for the soul. Y'all tap in, man. Tap in.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime.